Well, he's a man of his word, at least for a tiny time period. Your new Attorney General of the United States kept his promises to the Senate for really just a couple of hours. I mean, Monday morning, Todd Blanche put his hand on a Bible and got sworn in. By Monday afternoon, you had the flash bulbs, the handshakes, the ceremonies, and on Monday evening, before they could scrub the word acting from his nameplate, his department published a brand new legal memo handing Donald Trump a fresh set of protections that nobody, except for the king, president, would ask for. And this wasn't something that Blanche eased into. This wasn't a first 100 days plan, not even his first week. It is literally his first act, his first shift. This man works quicker than Matt Gaetz in a high school parking lot. But frankly, we can't be shocked by this, right? Because Todd Blanche was Donald Trump's personal criminal defense attorney. The guy sitting next to him at that hush money trial when a jury said guilty 34 times. And now that man is running the United States Department of Justice, and it looks like he's making that now just Donald Trump's personal law firm. Pam Bondi got showed the door just to make room for Todd Blanche to take over the DOJ. So yes, Donald Trump hired his own defense attorney to be the nation's attorney, and people are now surprised at the speed at which Blanche is catapulting Trump's agenda forward. The ink on the oath was still wet. The Bible was still warm. And what does this memo actually say? Well, the Office of Legal Counsel now is arguing that the president can claim executive privilege over his communications with private advisors. And that stretches privilege to cover his conversations between direct advisors and regular civilians, AKA private advisors, or like his golf buddies, his donors, whoever's on the other end of his 1 a.m. phone calls. Essentially, under this legal theory, half of Mar-a-Lago essentially became a law firm for privilege's sake. Essentially, almost all evidence that would be connected to anything Trump says between anybody he talks to will never be able to see the light of day in a courtroom or in Congress. So why did they rush this out on night one? Well, because if Democrats take the House in November, subpoenas start flying. And this memo is their first line of defense. No one builds a bunker, and it's hard to keep those things straight these days. And I'm talking about a proverbial bunker here, not the $900 million illegal one that Trump is actually building. No one actually builds a figurative bunker unless they know what's coming. And nobody knows what's coming better than the man who used to bill Trump by the hour. And since the chatter around all of this seems to be dying off again, I need to remind you that Blanche and his same Justice Department are the people who redacted Trump's face out of photographs in the Epstein files. Blurred out his face like he was the victim, like he's a witness in a mob documentary. And that's on top of the documents we still haven't seen produced. Are you feeling reassured that we live in a free and fair society? By the way, Blanche only got confirmed because Bill Cassidy, John Cornyn, and Tom Tillis all said that they had gotten commitments from him in writing that limit presidential immunity and gut that stupid $1.776 billion anti-weaponization slush fund. Susan Collins looked at that man and said no, saying he'd already eroded the department's independence. But about this written commitment, it's not legally binding. Blanche basically admitted as much himself. So these elected officials took a pinky promise from Trump's defense attorney and actually trusted it, and then handed our country to Todd Blanche. And understand what oversight actually is before we shrug this away, because congressional subpoenas are how the public learned all the details of Watergate, about the Abu Ghraib memos, the Epstein files fight in the first place. If you kill the subpoena power, you aren't just protecting one man. You turn the entire executive branch into this locked diary with a taxpayer-funded super-duper lock. And I've got to ask, if a Democratic House sends this White House a subpoena next year, do you believe any of it can actually get enforced? Or is congressional oversight functionally dead? And what realistically brings it back? I mean, we will have a genuine full-blown constitutional crisis on our hands. And I don't want to sound like an alarmist, but how do we resolve that with a Trump-leaning Supreme Court? I want real answers in the comments here. How do we fix this? And look, somebody did speak up about this. Chuck Schumer had tepid words about this memo, saying that the memo shows Trump is petrified of the questions a Democratic Congress will demand answers to. Great. Thanks, Chuck Schumer. Anybody could have said that. But he is right, because innocent people don't pre-build privilege walls around their golf buddies. Yet here we are. The Attorney General of the United States, supposedly having 340 plus million clients, instead protecting just one. And the retainer for his services got paid on Monday night, hours after his oath. And for you, Cassidy, Cornyn, and Tillis, he made you look like Marx in less than a day. That has got to be some sort of land speed record. And frankly, Matt Gaetz, he's not involved in that one. Do me a favor, hit the notification icon, because I promise you this memo is not leading a single corporate newscast tonight. A DOJ memo doesn't sell ad time the way a shouting panel does. The bell is how you will actually see what this Justice Department does next. And if you really support our mission, we would appreciate it if you considered becoming a member. That way we can keep bringing you this content day in and day out.